Hi, I'm Jean Ann Duckworth, and today's word is hospitality. In a previous episode, I talked to you about fellowship and the important role fellowship plays in the growth, the maintaining of the church, how it helps strengthen the Christian experience. I had taught a class at a university one evening, and we talked about what we do when we go to church on Sunday, the different activities that go on. And then I asked the students to tell me the ones they thought we could eliminate and it would still be church. And one of the first ones they all got rid of was the coffee hour, the fellowship. And then I opened my Bible to Acts 2, and I quickly pointed out to them that right there in Acts 2, when it talks about what they did in the early church, it actually comes out and says fellowship. That fellowship is an integral part of the Christian experience. Fellowship is important for strengthening the relationships between the members within the group. Today I want to talk about hospitality. And for my purposes, I want to define hospitality as the way we welcome those that are new to the group. When we have somebody who comes to the church and has never been there before, or to any organization that we belong to, we need to make sure that we make them feel welcome. And the problem we run into, it isn't that we're rude. It isn't that we mean to be rude. It's the fact that we get so used to what it is we do all the time that we forget that somebody who's brand new might not quite understand. Let me give you an example. Let's go back to the infamous coffee hour. At my church, when we leave the sanctuary and we go over to Fellowship Hall, there's that word again, you walk in the door and you walk through this little passageway, and then off to the side are these tables with coffee and donuts and lemonade and water and so on and so forth. The people who belong to the church, who have been there before, naturally go over that way. But if you are brand new, you don't know what the procedure is. Is it open for everybody? Can I just go over there? Is there a charge for it? Is it okay for me to take something? You have absolutely no idea. And I know there's at least one of you sitting there thinking, oh, well, it should be obvious. Well, it might be obvious to you, but it doesn't mean it's obvious to everybody. And you have to accept the fact that you may occasionally have people who have never been to church before, and they don't know the routine at all. The important thing about hospitality is meant to put people at ease. It's not just a matter of welcoming them into the group. It's to make them feel comfortable and at home. I'm watching Mimi walk past me. Mimi's our cat. There you go. Thank you. Is to make people feel at ease and at home. And if you're new in a situation and you don't know what the routine is, you don't know what the procedure is, it can make you uncomfortable. It can make you a little anxious. And you might just leave. I worked at a church for a number of years, and it was the church I attended. I had been there for like 18 years, and they laid me off. And it was very painful. So I began looking for a new church. I wanted to go to a church in our neighborhood, and I went to a large church in our neighborhood, and I every Sunday I'd be there in services, and every Sunday nobody ever spoke to me. And after church, I'd go out to fellowship, and I would get my coffee and donut, and I'd find a nice place to sit down or to stand there, and nobody ever came up and spoke to me. Needless to say, I didn't join that church because I wasn't made to feel I was part of that community. In fact, they made me feel very much that I not only wasn't a part of the community, but they made me feel very unwelcome. The church I ended up joining was the exact opposite. Very welcoming. It's funny, I always tell the story. It was a year before anybody ever asked me why I had pink hair. Nobody ever commented on it. Nobody ever stared at it. Although I understand our pastor was really excited when he saw me and started telling everybody, "Did you see her?" I don't know what fascinated Winston about my pink hair, but I guess he thought I was bringing something new and different to the church, which I probably did. Hospitality is very important because I think sometimes, without meaning to, we drive people away from our groups. And this isn't just church, this is organizations as well, any group you belong to. And as I get into talking about small groups eventually, we're going to talk about that because bringing new people in is how you keep these groups alive. Without new members, without that rotation, it's not going to last, even if it's lasted a number of years. Hospitality, it's as important, if not more important, than fellowship, because first you have to make an environment where they want to stay. And then once they stay, you want to have the fellowship so that you can build a relationship with them. I'm Jean Ann Duckworth, and today's word is hospitality.